Alright, good evening everybody, and now it's time for my America's Got Talent Top 48 recap for the quarterfinals, week 2. So, I know, I haven't started voting for the acts yet because if I voted for them now, I'd get a busy signal. So that's why I'm doing this review first, just so I can pass some time before I vote. So, let's get started with the review, shall we? First up was Lion Dance Me, and they did this act. They even used some stools that are above things, and the act was just okay to begin with. I mean, Sharon said that they should have added a little bit more martial arts into it, and both Howie and Howard thought that the act was just a little bit boring. And Howie said he was bored, and Howard said that America would get bored, and to me, I think boring is right. So, I don't think Lion Dance Me is going to go through, but they didn't do too badly, just mediocre, 7 out of 10. The next up after that was Turf, and he's a dancer and does contortionism, some too, in it, and he did this routine to I'm a Bee as performed by the Black Eyed Peas, and it actually was pretty good. Even you could see one time where the screen almost like was showing cloning things of him as well, just to see if it was multiple duplicates. But either way, the act was pretty good. Of course, I didn't give him a perfect score for this, but I don't know if he'll go through well. He might not go through right away, but I think I will give him another chance. So Turf, 9 out of 10. I think I'll make him one of my wild card picks. Okay, next up after that were the Always, a rock band, and their song that they performed was Telephone, as performed by Lady Gaga. The singing choice was just okay, just mediocre. They were worried about song choice. I don't know if it was the best song, because the band's more like a rock band than a pop band, so I wasn't thrilled with it, but hey, that's okay. At least they tried their best though, so the Always, they get 7 out of 10 for that. Then next up after that was Hawley Magic. And lucky though, unlike Jared and Raja, whose act did not go too well last week, Hawley Magic, they did a little bit better, and even had Trisha, who was the female, she was the one who was put into the tip of that sword, and lucky though she wasn't injured, because I know Jonathan was doing it the right thing, and this act actually wasn't that bad. Of course, there was some criticism though. They probably won't go through to the semis right away, but I actually like them, and I think I'll give them another chance. So, Hawley Magic, 8 out of 10. The next up after that were the Lisa Clark dancers, and they did some dances of their mix of contemporary, some of her jazz, tap, and all that. Their routine was just okay, but of course, they were also the first act that was buzzed for the night, but because they ended up getting buzzed by Howie, and the reason why Howie buzzed is he said it was kind of more like a young children's dance recital. Well, and yeah, he's right. At least there was some positivity, but not that much. So the Lisa Clark dancers, they only get 5 out of 10. Not going to go through, unfortunately. So, but at least they tried their best. The next up after that were the Aurora Light Painters, and their act had to deal with something a little spooky about someone in bed, and the song that they set it to was Strangers in the Night, as performed by Old Blue Eyes, aka Frank Sinatra. Of course, the painting was just okay, but unfortunately, they blew it, and I was disappointed because Howard ended up buzzing them, and the reason why Howard buzzed is because he said that the act did not have a story, and you know what? Having a story in painting actually does mean something, so if you tell a story, it might actually work out. So unfortunately, no story probably didn't mean anything. So I was disappointed. The Aurora Light Painters blew it, 4 out of 10. Feel bad for them. I had so much hope. That's another reason why David Garibaldi is better, but let's hope. Hopefully there won't be another mess up. He's still got one artist left. I know. We'll see how he does in either next week or the week after that. The next up after that was Danielle Stallings, and she sang It Will Rain as performed by Bruno Mars. In fact, I heard this song. I first heard it on a reality show when Bruno sang it live on an X Factor results show. Oh, I can remember hearing that. And that song is from a movie, being from the Twilight Saga, Part 1. I can't remember the full title, but that song actually wasn't that bad. So Danielle Stallings actually gets the first perfect score, 10 out of 10, but I don't know if I'm going to put two singers through, but I'll make her a wild card pick. Then next up after that was Donovan and Rebecca. They were some great acrobats, and they used something that many other acrobats would end their careers with. Some have even died doing it, but thank goodness they played it all right, and they did it all right. In fact, I believe it was either Donovan or Rebecca that was even using this with just one hand to balance him out, and that actually was pretty good. And the song that they set it to was Chasing Cars by Snow Patrol, which that song's been used in Got Talent before, because I can remember in Season 5 in the quarterfinals that Ascendance did on that walk wall. They did an act for that song in the quarterfinals, and they moved through, and I have a feeling even Ascendance would be impressed with Donovan and Rebecca. So Donovan and Rebecca, they're definitely going to go through. Perfect 10. There you go. The next up after that was Big Barry, and he sang Feeling Good as originally done by Nina Simone. Also has covers including Anthony Newley and, of course, Michael Bublé. Fortunately, the singing was just pretty horrible. I knew his audition didn't go well, and I don't think he did well in Vegas either. In fact, he should not have been in the 48. Unfortunately, yeah, he ended up getting 2 X's for that. Both Howard and Sharon buzzed, but he was able to finish just because Howie seemed to like some bad stuff. But if I was Howie, I'd rather buzz this acting, make sure that big red X appears on the screen. That way he can be more of a train, just like Michael Najad was last week with those weird instruments. So Big Barry, definite no. Very bad score, 2 out of 10. Never ever want to hear him again. And of course, he won't be the last train wreck. We'll just wait and see when Ulysses performs. This could be even worse. We'll see. But then, next up after that was Tom Cotter, a stand-up comic, and he actually gave more great jokes, and you know what? I think a lot of this stuff was pretty funny, and even the judges even giggled up. And Sharon said that Tom even writes his own material, and writing your own material sometimes can be pretty good. Good to make the comic routine go well, and you know something? I'm impressed with him. In fact, we haven't had a stand-up comic this good since Season 4 when we had Grandma Lee on the show. And I tell you, Grandma Lee would even be impressed about that. But that's not all. Even Melissa Villaseñor from last season, or even Robin Williams, or Whoopi Goldberg, or Whitney Cummings could even be all impressed about this. I'm sure they'd be watching this act over and over again, and I'm sure I would too. I'm definitely going to put him. It's been a long time since we last had a regular stand-up comic in the semi, so I think this is the year. We've been long overdue, so Tom Cotter, perfect 10, love the comedy. The next up after that was Ben Blaque. He was a crossbow performer, and he added some new tricks. He did more balloon popping, and at the end he got out not 1, not 2, not 3, but shooting 4 crossbows at the same time and 4 balloons. Assistant was standing in the middle, and the balloons, they all hit all 4. 3 of them popped right away. The 4th one didn't, but the reason why, it slowly deflated, makes it as a sign of hitting, so it actually did work out after all. So, and I appreciate that. So, Ben Blaque, perfect 10. I would love to see this Danger Act again in the semifinals, so definitely good. And last but not least was Tim Hockenberry, and he sang Part of Me as performed by Katy Perry, and it was a unique arrangement, and I actually like this arrangement. In fact, he has an inspirational story. He used to spend time in jail and actually drunk, but since his release, he's been clean and sober. He's kind of like the AGT version of Chris Renee. Hey, if based on that, you know something, Howard did give some criticism for the song, but Howie actually liked it because he said at least it was good that he didn't pick another Joe Cocker song. Well, he actually didn't sing a Cocker song in Vegas, because I know in Vegas he had sung Maybe I'm Amazed by Sir Paul McCartney. Okay, alright. And you know something? I love Tim, and I don't care what Howard says. That performance was great. He definitely is going to go through to the semis, and he is so far one of the best out of all the singers this season, and I'm definitely going to see him again. So, Tim Hockenberry, perfect 10 out of 10, so there you go. That's my review of those acts, and therefore I have easily predicted my top 4 favorite acts, and the 4 acts that are definitely going to go through are Donovan and Rebecca, Tom Cotter, Ben Blaque, and Tim Hockenberry. Though, if any of the other 3 wildcard picks I have go through, that's okay. Probably will not be Hawley Magic, but if Turf or Danielle Stallings goes through, that's okay too. But either way, all of those 7 acts were so good. Well, 6 of the 7 were so good, but I still will give Hawley Magic another chance, because I'm sure they can improve in the wildcard show. That's what stepping it up means. But anyways, great show, and as I said, definitely don't want to see Big Barry again. No way, Jose. Hey, bad singing, but he was just about as bad as Mauricio last season. But either way, I hope you like my picks, and I hope you enjoyed my review. I'm going to be voting in a few minutes, so anyways, thanks for watching, and if you like what I see, maybe and want to hear from your side, tell me what you think, and feel free to post in the comments box below, or you can do your own video response too if you want to give your opinion and see. Some of you might agree with me, some of you may not. Well, we'll see. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye-bye. Good night.